It's because of a number of critical design features. For one, notice how easy it is to switch between gauges. Right now we're set up for 14 gauge. I loosen this knob, move the switch. Now it's working on 15 gauge. Loosen the knob, move the switch, back to 14. And best yet, the movement of this toggle is controlled by 2 set screws, which allow us to micro adjust thread depth. That enables us to compensate for spoke wire diameter, and after all, spoke wire is drawn. It's not highly dependable diameter. And it allows us to make up for die wear, so we can squeeze 50,000 pieces out of a set of dies rather than perhaps 10,000. Number 2, cleaning a machine like this is key to long life, and the Morizumi can be cleaned without any tools. I remove this small pin, pull out the moving die holder. I can brush and clean this die out, brush and blow out the opposing die, put it all back together, and we're good to go. And with a tool like this, cleanliness is next to longevity. I'd like to add one more point, and that is, the machine can work on more than just 15 and 14 gauge. It can actually work on 13. But in that case, the switch won't accomplish the change. What you have to do is remove the dies themselves, and you can see how easy. 2 4mm Allens will remove this die. Another set of 4mm Allens here will remove the matching die. If you take those out and put in 13 gauge dies, the machine is then ready to work on 13, which can be quite handy if you're building tandems or recumbents. Another key feature of the Morizumi tool is separating the cutting and threading operations, because they're really unrelated, and in spoke manufacture, they're separate. Cutting is done on the right side of the machine, hidden from you. Here's the cutting lever, there's the motion, and threading is done with the material on the near side of the machine. This is the threading lever, and that's the threading motion. So let's do a few spokes. You can see how easy this is. I've got a few 274s. It's a great length, but who needs 274s? 269 is going to be a much more useful length. I like to use bottles like this for the spokes to be cut, and another bottle, the destination bottle, for those that are cut. You hang a spoke over this scale, which has been adjusted, in this case, for 269. There we are. I move the lever up with a sharp action. The spoke is perfectly cut. Does that look easy, or what? Another one. Let's just do these 16. I run the risk of boring you, but I want you to see that it's a smooth and simple operation. There's not much that can go wrong. The cutting die in this mechanism is round, so the spoke has 360-degree support while the shear comes across and makes the cut. So there's virtually no deformation of the spoke at the cut. So the length is far more accurate. Straight pull spokes can also work with this very same tool. You just hold the spoke up against the neck here at the top, and the cut is just as accurate. We're getting there. Now you might notice that the cut ends of the spoke are not spilling out across my pan. The reason is they're being guided by a gray plastic tube. You see it there? The cut ends, and here goes one, are being guided by this gray plastic tube down underneath the bench. So if you wish, you can use a bottle like this to gather all the spoke fragments as you're cutting. Of course, you could let them just spill out on the pan if you wish. May I point this pan out too? This is a baking tin by Baker's Secret, actually, and I've got it bolted between the tool and the butcher block. It enables me to over-oil and maintain this tool without making a mess of the bench itself. Well, we've just cut our 274s down to 269. It's time to thread them. So I'll pull the cutting lever out and insert the threading lever. I'm going to use a bottle again to make the spokes easier to pick up and handle. and just for the first cut, I'll let you see what I do. What I'm going to do is open the tool, insert the spoke, and now, no hands, simply move the lever down. The spoke is threaded, and I recommend keeping a good magnifying glass around so you can admire your handiwork, because with this machine, you can make perfect threads. There's the finished spoke. So what I'll do is work, how about here? I'll work from one bottle to the next. Now my left hand is not guiding the spoke, it's just catching it at the termination of threading. I hope this looks plenty easy to you, because it sure is. The key with spoke threading is the work has to enter the dies at exact perpendicular angle. There can't be any wagging. If there is, the machine will jam. That's why this tool takes such pains to grab the spoke and guide it into the threading operation. And that's why the downward stroke on the lever feels like butter. I think cutting and threading rates of about 500 per hour, I mean both operations, is what you should be expecting. And one more point, after each batch, 16 in this case, 32 in some other cases, I would recommend putting a little oil on the dies themselves. Here, just a couple drops, let it run down. Good for the tool.